Hi everyone, and happy holidays. Our theme for this practice is pause and reflect. All right, so it's going to be a pretty recovery-based style of practice, really gentle, and also short, because I think it's safe to say that around the holidays, things can feel really busy and maybe even a little bit overwhelming. So just really using this practice to shift gears a little bit, tune inward, right? Reflect on where you're at and how far you've come, and just use this practice to be really gentle with yourself and just honor your body and your heart, all right? So I have a couple props with me. I have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, some sort of pillow would be great. I also have one block and a blanket, all right? So we're gonna start in a supported fish pose with the bolster. So I'm just gonna turn and have my lumbar spine up against the bolster here, and I'm just gonna lay on back. I like to use the blanket with me as well. I like to put it on top of my hips for just a little bit of weight and gravity on the hips. And then you can take up some space with your arms, palms facing up. And as you feel your spine here on the bolster, we'll allow our weight to get nice and heavy into the ground. Maybe closing the eyes or just softening the gaze to just allow this practice to be a moment of tuning inward. Right? At the time of the holidays, we're often really busy. Our energy can be a bit more outward. Maybe we're a bit more social or seeing family and seeing friends, which is all fine and well. It's great to celebrate in that joy. But we also need this time as we head in towards the winter season to take pause, right? To slow things down. And so we're just going to take a nice solid minute or two to land here on our backs. Bring more fullness into your breath. If the mind is busy, if the body feels tense, just allow everything to soften and quiet. About another 30 seconds. Feel the belly soften. If you're breathing up higher in the chest, see if you can start to bring the breath down more deeper into your belly. Right, so as the inhale, the breath will even begin at the bowl of your pelvis, letting the belly expand and get nice and big. And then as you exhale, just gently letting all the air out. And maybe for these last few moments here, allowing that exhale to be a bit longer than the inhale. Just creating a soothing experience for the nervous system as you really slow that exhale down. Nice deep breath in through your nose. And a long breath out, maybe a sigh out the mouth. We're going to make our way to tabletop from here. So you can bend your knees, feet flat. And if you have a blanket, just place that to the side. Bring your hands behind the back of your thighs and just lift yourself on up. Place this bolster off to the side. We'll come back to that, just off to the side. And then let's make our way to tabletop, perhaps with a blanket for underneath your knees. And then from here, we're gonna come right into some fire hydrants with that left leg, just getting some movement into the left hip joints. So you're gonna bring your left hip out and in, take about 10 or 15 or so. Let's keep the gaze down at the center of the mat, a couple inches in front of the hands, right? Just creating a neutral neck, thread the chin up. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take some circles, so get some circumduction. So just lubricating, hydrating the joints. It's 3 to 5 in each direction, and then just switch. Just getting a little bit of movement into these hips. Good. And then extend the left leg long, flex the foot, and then bring your left leg out to the left for gate pose. Just drop it right down, and then shift your weight forward and back. So getting into the inside of the leg, that abductor. 3, 2, 1. Press into the hands, lift the left leg, swing it on back, and then step your left foot through. Rise up to an Anjaneyasana, so firm the right glute as you lift your arms up. Reach up to the fingertips. Take a breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your hands down, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and straighten that front leg to a pyramid pose. Now notice, I'm not coming into the full pyramid. I still have my back heel lifted. I have a nice a little bit of a bend into my front knee, right? Nothing crazy. Drop the right knee down. Come up to lunge, Anjaneyasana. Hands come down. Lift the back knee, straighten that front leg. We'll take 3 like that. Drop the knee, arms come up, firm that right glute. Hands come down, lift the back knee and straighten the front leg. Last 2. Last 1. Pause here in that pyramid pose, back heel lifted, bend into the front knee, left hip back, right hip forward, and just take a few breaths into that hamstring. And again, the left leg is soft. And then we'll simply step the right foot to meet your left. Hands to shins, crown of the head forward. Fold, knees soft. And then we'll take a supported forward fold. Bring our elbows just above the knees today, and then bring your hands together, and then rest your forehead on top of your thumbs. So a supported forward fold. A few breaths here. Arms down, knees soft, press into the feet, arms come all the way up, overhead, firm glutes. Hands to the heart as you just bow all the way forward. Hands to shins, fold. Step back to plank, but then immediately just drop your knees down and come all the way down onto your belly, and we'll come up to Sphinx pose. Belly on the ground, heart comes forward, a little bit of a dragging with the elbows back towards the back of the mat. Belly soft on the ground, pubic bone pressing down into the mat. 5 breaths. And also, if you're feeling like you'd like to even be more gentle, more restorative, you could also very well rest your head in your hands here. Wherever you are, take 2 more breaths. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you can lower yourself on down, hands beside your chest, and then just come back into a child's pose. Hips to heels. Take a rest. come back up, all fours, and we'll just come into the other side, all right? So fire hydrants with your right leg this time. Spread those right fingers out. Now if your right knee, as you start to bring your right knee out, if you notice that you start to sway into the left hip, right, that probably means that you're bringing that movement into the pelvis or the low back. We really want to isolate the movement into the hip joint, all right? Take about 8 more. Nice and steady. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, take some circumduction, some circles with that hip. Switch directions. And then extend the right leg back, flex it, bring it out to the right, and then onto the right side of the mat. Gate pose, and then just shift your weight forward and back. Good. Noticing that we're not really holding anything for any of our more active part of the practice, right? Just getting every joint kind of juiced up before we move into some more restorative, restful postures here. Good. Press into the hands, right leg lifts, and then step it through. Press into that right big toe, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Reach up through the fingertips, take a breath. And then hands come down. Lift the back knee and straighten the right leg for pyramid pose, modified pyramid. Drop the left knee, rise up. Hands come down, pyramid. Take 3. Moving with the breath, getting a little fluidity and grace here. Take 1 more, drop the knee down, rise up. Hands come down, straighten and hold for a few rounds of breath in that pyramid pose. Right hip back, left hip forward. You can definitely have a bend into that right knee, right? Doesn't have to be super straight. That back heel can stay lifted. Step the left foot to meet your right. Hands to shins, fold, knees soft. And then we'll take that modified forward fold again. So elbows on top of the thighs, hands together, rest forehead on top of your thumbs. Maybe even massaging between the eyebrows with the thumbs. Release your arms down. Press into the feet. Slowly roll all the way on up. Arms up overhead. Hands through prayer as you fold with bent knees. Hands to shins. Fold. Step back. Immediately drop the knees and just come all the way down onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Again, feel free to modify. You can rest the head in your hands. Heart comes forward, slight little back bend here. Press the pubic bone down into the earth. Soften the jaw. Deep breath in. Full exhale. Lower. Hands beside your chest. And then lift yourself back up into all fours. We're actually going to take a supported child's pose from here. So let's grab the bolster again. Personally, for a supported child's pose, I also like to use a block. You don't have to. You're welcome to just have the bolster like this. Or you can take your block, second highest height or lowest, and just make a little bit of like a ski slope. And then we're just gonna fold onto our bolster, taking a supported child's pose. I'm gonna watch my mic here. And then you can just turn over to one side, so ear to one side. And we'll stay here in the supported child's pose for a good minute or so, maybe even 2. So just let your weight get heavy on the bolster. Maybe close the eyes. You can turn your head to the other side if you haven't done so already. We'll take another 45 seconds or so here. About 5 more rounds of breath, nice and slow. And then we'll slowly lift ourselves on up. And then we're going to come into a supported forward fold. So the block can go off to the side. I'm also going to place my blanket off to the side here. And then this bolster is just going to come across the mat. We're just going to take a nice and easy forward fold here. So I'm going to put my knees over the bolster. I'm just going to fold forward like this. Now you don't have to fold all the way forward. If you know that you have low back pain or forward folding like this causes the lumbar spine, sometimes it gets a little, it feels painful. You can just take a couple inches, right? It doesn't have to be super deep. But just observing that a lot of this practice has been focused on folding inward, right? From pyramid pose to our forward fold, to our child's pose, really taking this opportunity to just fold and tune into ourselves. We'll be here for about 2 minutes. Maybe on the next exhale, you just fold a little bit deeper into the pose. Just noticing how when we just allow, right, what these more restorative type of postures teach us is the more that we just allow, right, the more open we become, right? We don't have to force, right? As we just let the breath do the work, our bodies will come deeper into the pose, right? We'll take about 45 more seconds. Slowly roll on up. Maybe bring your fingertips back behind you and just open up the chest. So just lean back, feel the heart come forward. Maybe rock from the weight from palm to palm. Good. All right, we're gonna finish off with legs up the wall. All right, so you can place the bolster off to the side. I'm gonna use the blanket. So just if you need to pause the video, you can go find a wall. You can also use a couch, right? You can put your legs up over a couch or something like that, or a chair. And I'm just gonna scoop my hip all the way over to the wall here, and then it's gonna turn all the way, and then I'm gonna put my legs up and get my sit bones as close to the wall as I can. And then I'll take up some space with my arms, make sure there's nothing in the way here. And this should feel rather supportive, right? The heels up against the wall. Just letting the circulation switch directions here.